This is an RNZ podcast.
Bonjour, mes amis, je m'appelle Ben Strang. I'm the host of RNZ's Paris Essentials podcast. New Zealand has another silver medal to add to the tally, a sixth silver medal of the Olympic Games, this time in the women's team pursuit at the track cycling at the velodrome. What a place the velodrome is, by the way. If you've never been to the velodrome, you've got to get yourself to a velodrome. The atmosphere is just incredible. And the best thing is, it doesn't matter what the weather's like outside, it's going to be 30 degrees in there and you can wear shorts and a t-shirt. It is absolutely wonderful, especially when you see this black blur of Kiwis going around the track. Ali Wollaston, Bryony Borter, Emily Sherman and Nicole Shields bringing home silver in the women's team pursuit. A terrific performance, and they're a young developing team, so we can expect a lot more from them in the years to come. Also, interesting events overnight, the kayak sprint, the K1 500 metres. Dame Lisa Carrington and Amy Fisher qualifying for the semi-finals with the two fastest times. No surprises there, but it is good to see nevertheless. Hamish Kerr doing well in the high jump, except for, it was a bit nervy when he was at 220. It should be a piece of cake for him, but it took 3 jumps, and man, that was nervy last night. And then the pole vault this morning, well, we had the 3 Kiwis there, Eliza McCartney, Imogen Eris and Olivia McTaggart. Unfortunately, they fell just short, but also very exciting to watch them perform. But let's start today with the team pursuiters. We had a really good interview. Barry Guy caught up with Ali Wollaston after they won silver.
We had a plan and lit splits that we wanted to sit at, and we did exactly that. And I think at the end of the day, we just got beaten by a faster team. We left everything out on the track, and we didn't make a huge amount of mistakes, or not that I'm aware of. I still haven't rewatched it, but I think it's a ride that we can be really proud of, and knowing that we left everything out there is really reassuring.
Yeah, so the squad, just tell us about the last year perhaps, or, getting it done and getting to this position and winning a silver medal.
Yeah, I think every individual can speak to their own journey to this point. It hasn't been a very smooth sailing journey for all. I guess for my own journey, I had a bit of a setback with a knee injury early this year, and ended up having to have surgery. So I did think for a minute that my Olympic hopes were gone for a while. But yeah, I'm really grateful of the recovery and the support that I had during that time, and to get back into shape for this event is really awesome and something that I'm really proud of. But in terms of the other girls, I think, like I said, every individual has had a really difficult and challenging run in. But yeah, definitely something they can speak to for themselves. But I'm really proud of how everyone has turned up to this point and put their best foot forward. And yeah, I think the last 2 days are just a really good reflection on everyone's hard work and determination.
It appears that age experience plays a lot in teams pursuing in that. This squad has a future together.
Yeah, I think the word potential has been thrown around with our squad for a really long time. I think since the last Olympics, a few girls retired, and so we've had quite a young squad for a few years now. So to progress through the years with these girls has been amazing, and we've been through this journey together. But yeah, like you said, we are quite young. We are quite a young team, an ambitious team, and I think a team that has really high hopes for the future. But yeah, I think that today is the result today is amazing, and something that for sure we can be really proud of as a young team.
And you've got, the Omnium still to go?
I do have the Omnium, yeah.
How's it, are you not even thinking about that yet? Yeah,
no, I'm definitely thinking about it. It makes me hungry for more, winning the silver medal today, and I'm really looking forward to racing the Omnium. It's an event that I've grown to be quite fond of over the past 2 years. I was quite inexperienced, and I've raced quite a few races now, a few Nations Cups, and had some really good results. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back on my bunch bike and giving it my all on Sunday.
And the sport's been through some issues, and with women and those sorts of things, but 2 silver medals. The women are doing really well here. It's all tickety-boo, it's going well.
Yeah, I think the women and the men's squad have both been really strong, and it's definitely not one trumping the other. We're all one wider team here, and all have a huge amount of respect for each other and each other's performances. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of the squad goes over the next week. We've got a huge amount of potential, I think, over the next few days for some really great results, I think, over the next few days. So I'm really looking forward to watching the wider team.
And that was Barry Guy talking to Ali Wollaston after that silver medal win. They've got so much more to give in the sport. They're a very, very young team, so very exciting to see how they do in the coming 4 years. Technically, they should be peaking for the next Olympic Games in Los Angeles in 2028, so hopefully they can stay together and go one better there. Now, Barry Guy was at the velodrome all day, and he was very excited about going to that event before the Olympics. I'm glad that he got there. Here he is after the cycling.
One of the team members there was spot on. Actually, the United States have timed their run through this. They've just got better in each round that they've competed in. New Zealand started strongly, of course, but again put in a strong performance tonight. And I did think for the second night in a row after the team sprint last night that they were going to be undone by a world record. And the US was on world record pace for about 2/3 of that race. And it just sort of eased off a little bit at the end, and as we heard, New Zealand was able to peg it back, and just if they'd had another couple of laps, who knows. But the US, again, they timed it perfectly. So, everyone wants to win gold, and everyone that's at the Olympics wants to win gold, and just, sometimes it's not possible, but, winning their first ever medal in this discipline at the Olympics and their fourth attempt is damn good.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Americans, they did come out very fast. It was almost at one stage their coach was sort of telling them to sort of calm down a little bit. They did lose a bit of form, which looked like it might have given us the chance to come back.
That's right. Every team has their strategy, and as we heard from the New Zealanders, they like to finish strong. I remember the men, they finished fifth today. They talked about how they were good in the middle part of it. So, you can't be perfect all the way through 4,000 metres, and you've got to just set your pace and try and stick to your plan. And New Zealand's plan was to try and, finish strong and overpower them. And the US obviously wanted to start strong and just hold on, and in the end that worked for them. But a great performance by New Zealand to grab that silver medal, a second one in 2 nights here.
Yeah, sounded like an incredible atmosphere there too. It was very loud.
The biggest supporters are the Brits here, and they got the bronze medal, and the amount of cheering there was, you would think that they'd won the gold medal, but it was a bronze medal. I said, hey, wait, we've still got the final to go here. There was a lot of support for the New Zealanders also, and the amount of support for the US, that was about even. I was trying to look around to see who the Brits were supporting, and I think it was New Zealand. So, yeah, a very good night. And it's going to continue tomorrow too,
yes.
Of course, because we've got Elise Andrews in the Keirin, and also Rebecca Petch in the Keirin. They're through to the quarterfinals and semi-finals and final tomorrow.
Yeah, so now Andrew's one of the favourites there with, she won her heat, didn't she?
That's right, went straight through to the semi-finals. She's a former world champion. She was silver in Tokyo, so she is one of the favourites. I'm not going to say the favourite, though, because we've had a couple of silvers here.
We're not going to jinx things again. And the Keirin, as well as surely the hardest of the cycling races to understand, because it's all sort of points-based, isn't it?
No, the Keirin's the one behind the motorbike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the strange one that sort of started about 100 years ago when they were trying to entertain people around Europe with, motorbikes. It's electric now, fortunately. You don't get all of those fumes. And Aaron Gates in the Omnium, that's where there's 4 events. You have a scratch race and a pursuit, I think, and a sprint. You have to. It's like being the decathlon on athletics. This is the Omnium, but Aaron Gate is exceptional. He can do anything and everything, so he's a good chance too tomorrow.
And that was Barry Guy outside the cycling. We also heard from Bryony Borter's sister, Leanne Borter. She talked to Corin Dan.
Watching from New Zealand was Bryony Borter's sister, Leanne, who is with us now. Good morning, Leanne.
Morning.
How are the nerves?
They're much better now that it's over with.
Yeah, that was quite some race. Talk us through your thoughts on the race. The US in the end just to put on an incredible performance, but the New Zealanders were catching, but just ran out of time.
Yeah, I think we could make it longer, add an extra lap in there, and I think we would have had it. But no, I think they did a really good job actually. And watching it at home, I've had about 20 people here this morning with us, and it was just amazing watching it all together.
Were you screaming at the TV?
We were definitely, yes. We were very excited, and even getting a silver medal, that was huge for them. That's the first in history for New Zealand as well in the women's team pursuit. They've never medalled before in the team pursuit, which is huge. So we're just so proud, honestly.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we need to put this into some context, just the incredible achievement, the growth that we keep seeing in New Zealand cycling to win in that particular event. How difficult is it? I mean, it's taken many years to get to this point, hasn't it?
It sure has. They're a young team as well. Bronnie's the oldest. She's 26. So, it was a new team that was out there this time round. And previously we had the Germans, who were the same team who had set the world record. I remember the Tokyo Olympics, the Germans went out there and they set this amazing time of 4:04, which we were very close to beating as well and breaking the world record. And it was phenomenal. These girls are just the dream team, really.
How do you think Bryony will be feeling? Elated to having a medal, I'm absolutely sure. They had an eye on that gold, though, didn't they?
They sure did. I think they were a little bit disappointed by the race. But in saying that, when they finished their ride-off against the Italians, we did have a very sweet message from Bryony saying that she just couldn't believe that she was an Olympic medalist. So it's big for everybody.
And you would have got a view of the sacrifice you have to make to get to this level, an elite level of cycling, the hours that must go in, the travel, this sort of thing.
You sacrifice your youth for it, really. You give up so much, I know lots of people think, look, they're traveling all around the world, they get to see so many cool things, and they do, but it's training, like you're tired, you're putting in 4 or 5 hours a day on the road. Afterwards, you don't want to go and sightsee, you just want to relax. So it's a lot to go out there. You don't get to go to all the parties and, not your usual 20-year-olds that perhaps maybe go out and have a lot of fun at parties and drink and whatever. But, it paid off. They got silver.
And the thrill of being an Olympian, being at the Olympics. Paris, looking from afar, just looks amazing. The track, the velodrome looked incredible, didn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was. I think all the girls had their parents there and their siblings, and then my dad's there and also Bronnie's partners there. So it was cool. There was always somebody in the crowd for them.
And do you know, presumably there'll be a little bit of a celebration over there, or is there more to come? Is there a chance to let the hair down, so to speak?
Not yet. We've got Ali Wollaston doing the Omnium, and we've got Bronnie and Emily, who's going to be doing the Madison, I think it's Saturday morning at silly o'clock again for us. But yeah, so not quite yet, but I always throw her a big party, so we'll throw a big one when she gets back again.
That was Leanne Borter after a big party for Bryony Borter at the watching the cycling. Now let's hear from Nathan. He talked to Ingrid on Morning Report after 7 a.m, just wrapping up the results of the day.
Kia ora, good morning, Nathan.
Kia ora, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Eliza McCartney, so close. You're sort of sitting here in your chair watching at home and sort of thinking if you just held your tongue differently and sort of, flexed to the right a bit, she might have got over, but it didn't work.
Yeah, and, it's big for her because, she, let's be honest here, we didn't really have a pole vaulter who captured our nation's attention like we did before, and as we just heard there in the commentary when she won her medal there in Rio, and obviously brought a lot of attention on there. How could you not just absolutely love an incredible athlete who just looks so happy to be there? I wonder if her and Damien McKenzie have been to the same sort of preparations thing, because they both like that smile before they get into the area of expertise. And it's amazing that she's smiling too, because hard to run with a sore Achilles, hard to do anything with the sore Achilles, and she did have that sore Achilles, that niggle there. There was even concern that she might not even make it to the start line a few weeks ago. But there's so many of them carrying injuries. They do what they do. They pull up, they go pretty well. So, I mean, look, all things considered, that's not a bad jump from her there as well in this big competition. And, of course, the two younger jumpers there, Imogen Eris and Olivia McTaggart. I mean, look, Imogen set a personal best, which was great for her, which is one of those things that they want. They finished 12th and 13th, unable to get over at 4.7 metres. But I thought, that's okay. Me too. I don't think I could do that. But the world
setting a
record
personal best is incredible, isn't it? I mean, that's what more could you ask for there?
Oh, it is. And I mean, like, even if I look at our speed climbers, like, Julian David, he set one as well, was absolutely thrilled with what he'd done. But they were 4.7. I just went to, we had a bit of a look here with our First Up crew to have a bit of research. The world record's a little bit higher than that. There was Yelena Isinbayeva, who was a huge star of pole vaulting. 5.06 was what she got to. So, yeah, that's quite a standard. And, of course, the pole vault is still going on as we speak. I know that there are Canadians here at New Zealand House because there was much cheering when their jumper got over. But speaking of jumpers, I got to see ones just doing it manually. There was no pole involved in the high jump this morning, and it was a pretty amazing thing to see that, when you read it, if you read the results, or you see it goes like Group A and Group B. Well, what happens is at one end of the stadium, you've got these two high jump pads where they're set to go, and they're just divided up into one or the other. And it's incredible when you're out there because so many different things are happening at the same time. The most interesting thing that I saw was they had two 5,000 metre races that went on while the high jumper's going. So, of course, the jumper is there and they're getting all psyched up, and then the steward comes over and goes, no, here come the runners. So they kind of have to take a bit of a break and then watch the runners run past and then get through. But Hamish Kerr is a huge chance for us because of where, as well as he's been doing this year. Don't worry about that smashing a glass in the background. That's just recycling. The French are very world conscious. He struggled a bit at 2 metres 20, and he's got an interesting way to run. He just floats, like he skips when he's running with his feet there. But he was struggling with his run up, and he just was catching it on the way up. And it was really neat to see that he used a technique that many New Zealanders have used, the heel-toe technique, to measure out the length. I mean, sometimes you do it with a cricket pitch on the back lawn on Christmas Day. That's how he did, and he went back and he went over, spoke to his coach, came back, was like, what am I doing? And remember, you only get 3 chances, and he'd blown the first 2 at 2 metres 20, which is well under what he can do. Well, the great thing was he just floated over the next one, and from then on he was pretty much automatic getting over those jumps. Probably the most interesting thing is you look and go, well, what sort of chance is he? Because he was the top qualifier in his group at 2 metres 27. It was happening on the pad next door. So there was a beautiful Olympic moment in the high jump last time, which I don't know if you remember, and it was Mutumbashem from Qatar and Giancarlo Tambari from Italy. And this was the one where they were tied on a height, and the Qatari said to the referee, well, can we have 2 gold medals? And they said yes. Those two are so tight. So what happened was that Mutumbashem looked so good in his early jumps. But then there was one that he did, it was before 2 metres 27, where he lay on the pad and just grabbed his leg, and it was his calf. And he didn't move for a very, very long time. He got up, he limped off the pad. He looked pretty bad. I know a lot of people were wondering if it was cramp. I don't know, that didn't look like cramp to me. Anyway, he comes off, but he comes back and has another go at 2 metres 27, and he gets it. But he made it onto the pad, and then he sort of stood up a bit gingerly and pulled his name tag off and waved it up at the crowd, which apparently is an indication that he might not be doing anymore, because you could see that his leg was sore. I mean, he's a 2 metres 43 jumper going out at 2:27. And then Giancarlo Tambari, the man who he shared the gold medal with in Tokyo, he just couldn't get it done today at 2:27. So there for Hamish Kerr, there are 2 of the huge challenges out of the pool. And what was really nice was when you saw Barsham collapse and grab his leg, who's the first one over to check that he's okay? It's Tambari that came. So those 2 are very much, joined there for life. So Hamish Kerr, McEwen of the USA, Wu of Korea, and Akamatsu of Japan are the only ones at the end of day 1, at the end of 2:27. But Hamish Kerr, once he did the heel toe and sorted out his runner, he looked really, really good and good. It was incredible.
It's the answer to so many problems, the old heel toe, isn't it?
It is, the heel toe.
and then, of course, we've got Dame Lisa Carrington and Amy Fisher. I mean, wow, what a showdown it's going to be.
Exactly, because showdown, coming out with a very real, look, it's a very real chance of gold, silver, but not guaranteed though. Amy Fisher, world record setter, Lisa Carrington is Lisa Carrington, and I know that there's another challenger there who was very, very close to them. So I had a bit of a chat with Amy's brother Rob. We might try and play you some more later here on Morning Report. And he was kind enough to come into New Zealand House, and he sent me a text. Oh, you're going to be there, bro. I'll drop in and I'll come in and see you. So it was good to get a talk to him of where they were. But Lisa and Amy were just dominant in their races. And remember too, they know that they just have to win to get through here. So no one's superpowering right through. And when you had a look at their times, I think they were maybe a couple of hundredths of a second, apart in their overall time on it. So, yeah, still really good chances coming up for New Zealand as we head into the weekend.
That was Nathan Dada there talking to Ingrid Hipkiss on Morning Report. And Nathan, he's been a very busy man the last couple of weeks. Here he is talking to Rob Fisher, the brother of Amy Fisher, after that K1 500 metre heat where the New Zealanders looking in very, very good shape.
I'm sitting here at New Zealand House with Rob Fisher, who's just sat down, of course, Amy's brother. Good to have you here, bro. Good to see you.
Well, tēnā koe, Nathan. Namahi. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Now, it's quite a cool setup, at New Zealand. Have you been through New Zealand House before?
Yeah, I have. I came through after Finn Butcher won. So yeah, I've been here a couple of times now. So it's an awesome venue. We're very lucky to have it, particularly given where it is in relation to in Paris, right in the centre of it. So it's an awesome.
Oh no, it's great,
spot.
Look, let's get into qualifying now. Amy, fast time. It was at 1:49.16. Wins her heat. Lisa wins her one as well. Talk to me about Amy's one. Was she happy with how she did?
Yeah, I went for lunch with her afterwards. Actually, it was quite weird sitting down with her after I'd just been watching a whole bunch of people scream at her as she was kind of doing her race, but she seems in really good spirits actually, like really in a good space and really happy with how today went. Obviously getting the dub, and I think she's looking forward to the rest of the week, which is quite nice to get that monkey off the back, I suppose. Just to,
What matters to an athlete like her in the performance like that? Is it the time that comes up on the board, or I guess how she's feeling, or what? What do they monitor?
No, I can't speak for all of them, but I know I think from her perspective, it was about getting the result she was looking for, and then building into the semi-finals and hopefully beyond for her, right? So it was really about just getting the result that she wanted, because that's really what matters, right? Is the race in front of you, not necessarily chasing the time, is my sense of it, but I'm not sitting deep in the streets with her. Just the brother chat around, a cup of coffee. So, yeah.
So talk to me about just even the days leading into it. How was she feeling? Because I know there's so many athletes that were sort of, I was feeling a bit off, or I was feeling, a bit like that. Has she been good?
Yeah, she has been. I think doing the K2 the day before and going through the build-up for that and the races and so forth, it kind of breaks the seal a little bit. And so I think she went out and had a really good headspace today, actually. So she was great when I caught up with her. It was awesome. So I think she went into it quite well, and getting a bit more experience under her belt too now. She's done some pretty intense races over the last wee while, so she kind of knows what pressure feels like, and I feel like she will she'll carry it very well.
Yeah. So with two New Zealanders doing incredibly well there, another thing I suppose is how did the rest of the field look?
Yeah. I always go to my dad because he knows a lot more about the sport than I do. I'm your ultimate casual, but I've got a sister, so I'm hardcore right in the moment.
Well,
so I'm a real peak and trough kind of guy with it. So I think I annoy my father with the he's like, you need to invest and understand more about the sport, and I'm just like, I'm here now, but I need you to tell me. Yeah, that's it. If she won, she won. But I think it'll be competitive. I think you've got some great challenges out of Europe. I think you've obviously got this New Zealand with Dame Lisa Carrington and my sister as well, which is just awesome for our country to have two wahine sitting at the absolute peak of their powers. But the European I don't know if many people know this, but I think her name's Tamara. She was a second faster than that world record that Amy did recently. It just wasn't counted as a world record, so she is an absolute threat, and she did that at the European Championships, right? So there is absolutely competition in this field. There is nothing given in terms of where the Kiwis will place in this, and I think Saturday will be an awesome end to the Olympics in some respects, right, given it's almost the one of the last days and a pretty big event, so it's all set up very well for Aotearoa, enjoy.
Yeah, get up in there. So, I mean, for people who don't know, you obviously you see plenty of this going on. Tell us about the work that Amy has put in to get to where she is right now.
I think that'll be the thing people don't realise is how much hard work, how much discipline, how much effort, energy, sacrifice goes in to being on this stage. It is it's easy to come here and cheer on and see the results of their mahi, but actually seeing what they do, the grind, the level of sacrifice, like I said, it's unreal actually. So there's a lot that goes on behind what we're seeing here at the Olympics, just to be here, and really proud of my sister actually and what she does to be in this position, because you give up a lot. There's a lot of things that other people do that I think athletes at this level, they're sacrificing on a daily basis. Just a whole bunch of things we take for granted, particularly in our 20s, and the things we enjoy, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then they don't burn off, and it's really
embarrassing. Correct.
It
gets rough in the 40s. You built some great habits.
How do you watch? Are you proud brother, nervous brother? Like, do you watch through the fingers, or do you get really like? What happens?
I don't know.
What happens to Rob?
I posted a video on her Instagram actually of just the family watching. I think I'd go on a bit of a yeller.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good,
you're
though.
very expressive. No, it's just where it is. You kind of think you're cool and collected, and then you get to that last 20, 30, and then you just kind of, you got that uncool scream going off. And I'm just a proud brother, and
Yeah, but you've been a very helpful proud brother too. I know this, and it's awesome that you can do so. And like it said, she's up there as well. But it's great that your support and the love from the families lifting her up there, taking your brother cap off. New Zealand's chances on the podium. A couple of medals? Do you think maybe, or did you not like to think that?
I think we've got a great chance of seeing something pretty special with two Kiwis on the podium potentially, and that will just be an awesome thing for Aotearoa. So, we don't know which order and all those sorts of things. That'll be decided on the day, but I think that's definitely on the cards and a possibility. So fingers crossed.
That was Rob Fisher, brother of Amy Fisher, and that final is on Saturday night. Can't wait to watch that. It's going to be incredible to see. Coming up tonight, the golf. Lydia Ko starts at 8:10 p.m. She's well-shaped, I think tied for 13th in the golf. In the athletics, the women's shot put qualifying, Maddie Weshi is at 8:25. In the canoe sprint, the men's K4 500 metres, Max Brown, Grant Clancy, Curtis Imrie and Hamish Legarth, their semi-finals at 9:50 p.m. The final, if they make it, is 11:50 p.m. The men's C2 500 metres, the infamous C2, Grant Clancy and Max Brown are in their B final at 11:20. The men's K4 500 metres final is at 11:40 p.m. Olivia Brett, Lisa Carrington, Alicia Hoskin and Tara Vaughan. Big medal chance there. The speed climber, Julian David, is in the quarterfinal at 10:28 p.m. The men's kite surfing, Lucas Walton Kime at 10:13. The women's kite surfing of Justina Kitchen at 11:13. The track cycling, Aaron Gate is in the Omnium from 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. That wraps up by 5:30 a.m, so he's a very good chance at winning a medal there. And the women's Kieran, Elise Andrews and Rebecca Petch. Elise Andrews is another very good shot at a medal in the Kieran. The final of that will be by 5:11 a.m. And just lastly, the athletics, the women's 1500 metre semi-final, Maya Ramsden at 5:35 a.m. So there you have it. Make sure you set your alarm for tomorrow morning. I'll be back tomorrow for another episode of Paris Essentials, dropping at 11 a.m. tous les jours every day during the Paris Olympics. Until then, à demain, au revoir.